Hi, everybody. My name's Keith Cantrell. I'm a product solution architect at NetApp, and I'm here today to talk to you about an exciting extension that we've released for VS Code. It allows you to leverage an FSX for ONTAP file system all without having to leave the VS Code interface. Well, let's get started. The first thing you need to do is install the extension. You do that by clicking on the extensions icon and just, of course, searching for NetApp. You should see several extensions that we've released, but in this case, we're looking for the NetApp FSX for ONTAP 1, and to install it, you just click the install icon. Within a matter of seconds, you'll see the in icon right here. To use the extension, just click on the in icon, and that brings up the interface. But the first thing you'll need to do before you start really using it is you need to provide credentials. The way the extension works is that it issues AWS APIs to do things like list the file systems, list the SVMs, list the volumes. Before it can do that, it needs credentials to do so. To provide those, just click on the home icon and click connect. If you've already installed the AWS CLI and/or you're already doing programming using something like Boto 3, then chances are you already have these credentials installed. If not, you can click on that icon, you can click Add Profile, and you just give it a name, the access key, and the secret key, and click Save. Otherwise, you should be able to just select one of the profiles that are already there. Once you've done that, this panel over here will start to populate. If it's not selecting a region that you want, just click on the world icon and type. We don't have to type. You could just scroll down, but I find it easier to just start typing the region I'm looking for to limit the search. And you just select the ones you want and click OK. Now it'll show the regions that you want. You can expand the region. As you might imagine, it shows the file systems. Expand the file systems, you see the SVMs. Expand the SVMs, and you see the volumes within them. Now, if you set up a S3 access point, then you can actually select that volume, see the S3 access points, and then from there, here's the cool part, you can start to see the files within that volume all without having to change the user interface. And so if you need to just explore some of the volumes, you can do that. Just click on one of the files and it'll bring up the content right here in a window. Now, there's a lot of things you can do with the extension that there are not AWS APIs for. Things like creating snapshots is an example, or just even SSHing into one of the file systems. So to be able to do that, you have to give it the second level of credentials. And those are basically the username and password on the FSXN file system, which are different, obviously, than the AWS credentials. To do that, you get up just to the file system level. And if you haven't provided credentials before, there'll be a little person icon here. But in my case, since I have the little circle with the check marks there, I can still right click and it says configure the ONTAP credential details. And it's basically going to ask for a username and the password. And then it's going to ask how do you want me to connect to the FSXN for file system? Now, if you're within the same network and you could directly connect to it, then just say direct and great, you're all done. Otherwise, you can do instance connect. Basically, an EC2 instance connect is a way to have an external access to allow you to SSH into an instance. So I've already done that. Let's give it my instance connect ID, and we're ready to go. You select that, and in the bottom corner here, you'll get some status. It'll tell you that hopefully it was able to log into the system. There we go. Credentials are successful. So now I can do things like create a snapshot. See the little snapshot icon, click on that. It's going to ask for a name for a snapshot. Just hit enter, and again, down on the bottom, we're going to see the results of that. It's creating it, and it was successful. If I want to SSH to a system, I just click on the little SSH to file system icon, and it's going to SSH me into the system. Now note, it's not going to use that password that I provided, really more of a security reason. So it's still going to prompt me for a password, but it does know to use that instance connect. It's given the right instance connect ID and the IP address. So we're good to go. I just need to provide it that same password. So now I'm there. I can do any command because I'm literally logged in to the file system. I can do any command and just execute it right there. Another feature that the extension provides is a helper to Copilot. It basically allows Copilot to query aspects of the file system. Let's see some examples of that. First, bring up the chatbot and then ask a question. To get to the helper, you just do @fsx-ontap and then ask it a question that's geared towards the file systems, like list all the file systems I have access to. And of course, it realizes it just needs to get the file systems. It'll get other aspects of it and then display them on the screen. But what's nice about this, it also has access to CloudWatch or pretty much any metrics your credentials provided. So I can ask it a question like, hey, what's the average latency of a file system? And this is just one example. There's lots of CloudWatch metrics on the file systems and the volumes and all that that you could query and get interesting information from. Finally, it also knows how to leverage those credentials that we gave it earlier. So we can ask it a question that you can't normally get to with the AWS APIs. So an example might be, hey, list all the SnapMirror relationships on a specific file system. And pretty quickly it realizes I need to get the IP address and the administrator name, realize it has the credentials for it, and then it issues the command. So these are just some of the examples that you can do with it. I welcome you to download the extension and try it out yourself.